Hearts starve as well as bodies. Give us bread, but give us roses.
Hi, my name is Katie Sipp, and I'm the Executive Vice President of SEIU Healthcare Pennsylvania.
And my name is Barbara Rocky. I'm the Executive Director of Philipposh, and we're the co-chairs of Bread and Roses Community Fund's 2012 Tribute to Change.
Bread and Roses has provided millions of dollars in grants to support community organizing, and the proceeds from the Tribute to Change are used to support that important grant making and to provide leadership development as well as training for community organizers. And this year, 100 years after the strike that this organization was named for, our focus is on the heroes who fight for the rights of workers.
In 1912, 25,000 textile workers led a strike through the streets of Lawrence, Massachusetts. A law had been passed which lowered the hours that women and children could work from 56 to 54 hours a week. To skirt the new rule, mill owners cut workers' wages. These bosses didn't think the workers, who were mostly women and immigrants, would fight back, but they were wrong.
The workers struggled to survive, but their demands for higher wages and overtime pay were met. And it became known as the Bread and Roses strike because the workers asked not just for better treatment at work, but for the right to have a rich and full life.
What better time than today, 100 years after the monumental strike, that the Bread and Roses 2012 Tribute to Change should honor local leaders and worker rights heroes.
And we wanted to give you a chance to get to know the 2012 Tribute to Change honorees. So check out this video.
Yes, it is bread we fight for, but we fight for roses too.
Starting in 2009, Herman helped create the Consumer Workforce Council, which facilitates dialogue and cooperation between the consumers of in-home healthcare services and the workers who provide them. In April of 2012, the Consumer Workforce Council and the United Home Care Workers of Pennsylvania held a joint press conference in Pittsburgh announcing a ratified bargaining agreement.
It was hard, let me tell you, to get 5 different entities representing dozens of consumers to come to the table and agreeing to certain things. But that's what I was able to mainly do with this, my contribution to the Consumer Workers Council.
The Emerging Leader Award is given to an individual who is beginning to make their mark as a community organizer.
There isn't many organizations that help little true grassroots organizations like Bread and Roses does. We believe in the disability community that once the disabled idea of different is gone away, so many other civil rights issues will go away along with it.
For the people hear us singing, bread and roses, bread and roses.
An inspiring coalition led by members of 5 local unions came together in the fall of 2011 to fight closures at area oil refineries. And their hard work has paid off. A deal has been announced that will prevent the loss of 5,000 jobs in Delaware County.
You know, we were able to get the message out. We had people going door to door in our local communities.
And as far as like Bread and Roses, with the strikers bringing their children along, we did the same thing at the rallies, different rallies. People would bring their kids along to see what it's like to go to Washington, to petition, to talk to the politicians.
The Community Empowerment Award is given to a community organization, union, or campaign that has accomplished a great deal for change, not charity. This amazing coalition of workers has shown exactly what community empowerment can look like when people work together.
The boilermakers, the steam fitters, the electricians, you name it, they were able to make phone calls, they were able to send letters. You know, we generated thousands of letters out of our union hall between the 3 steelworker locals.
This is what we do. We get dirty, we go in, we fix the refineries, and we get out. And that's what we're proud of doing, and we help the USW keep these refineries running.
As we go marching, marching in the beauty of the day.
Kairys, Rudovsky, Messing, and Feinberg is being recognized with the Robin Hood Was Right Award for their generous financial support for Bread and Roses, as well as the thousands of hours of pro bono legal representation they have provided to the grassroots organizations Bread and Roses helps to fund.
Just being part of the political community that Bread and Roses serves in Philadelphia, that's why we all feel the responsibility to support the Bread and Roses operation.
The Robin Hood Was Right Award is made to an individual or organization making an outstanding contribution to social change philanthropy in the greater Philadelphia area.
As a society, as part of this community, I think we all have that obligation to give, to foster the kind of work that Bread and Roses helps create and develop over the years.
Together, the staff at Kairys, Rudovsky, Messing, and Feinberg are literally putting their money where their mouth is when it comes to supporting social justice.
1,000,000 darkened kitchens, 1,000 mill lofts gray.
Since 1975, the Philadelphia Unemployment Project, PUP, has organized the poor and unemployed to fight for economic justice.
That's what we believe in, that there is enough wealth in this country that nobody should be suffering when the economy is bad or they lose their job.
The Community Empowerment Award is given to a community organization, union, or campaign that has accomplished a great deal for change, not charity.
When PUP arrives on the scene, you know, for certain events or whatever, I mean, you can kind of like feel where people feel somewhat intimidated.
PUP's organizing victories, led by the poor and unemployed, have provided economic justice for hundreds of thousands of area residents.
So I think we've done probably more than any organization in the country at coming up with concrete programs to allow people to avoid foreclosure.
Our home was going to be foreclosed on, and we came to PUP seeking some assistance from their housing counselor. And we were able to successfully save our home through the assistance of PUP.
PUP has gotten a lot of support from Bread and Roses over the years. When we were, small group and made a difference, Bread and Roses was there. If you fight, you can win. I mean, that's one of the things that I think we teach is that you can win.
As we go marching, marching, we bring the greater days.
Janet Ryder has served as a mentor for countless women and people of color looking to become leaders in the fight for workers' rights.
I started off as a little girl with my grandmother in North Philly. She was a committee person registering new residents in the area for voter registration. So my roots are very deep and strong and long when it talks about community commitment and involvement.
Prior to her retirement last September, she served as Vice President of Labor Participation for United Way of Southeastern PA and the Philadelphia Council AFL-CIO. During that time, she and Labor Council President Pat Eiding co-hosted a weekly radio show called Labor to Neighbor on WURD, which served to educate listeners about issues affecting working families.
I was very active in the faith-based community, and also I belong to a sorority which is made up of college-educated women who are active after graduation from college in the community.
The Trailblazer Award is given to an outstanding leader in community organizing who has helped to pave the way for others.
I want to believe that I worked with organized labor for all those years, and we garnered more respect than we've ever had because of women like Kathy Black and myself, who sat at meetings when no other women were there, who believed in what we believed in and stood up for it and then got men to change.
In Philadelphia's organized labor community, no one fits the bill as a trailblazer more than Janet Ryder.
There is no difference between labor and the community. We are the people, and therefore our needs are all one and the same.
The rising of the women means the rising of the race.
Raised in a North Philadelphia union family, Kathy has spent her entire career fighting for workers' rights.
U.S. Labor Against the War was formed in 2003, and it came together a handful of people who had been active against the Vietnam War and in many of the other civil rights movements of the 60s and 70s. Just started it informally, and it sort of mushroomed.
In January 1997, she began her current job as Occupational Health and Safety Director at AFSCME District Council 47 in Philadelphia. At a time when organized labor is being targeted by right-wing reactionary groups and politicians, Kathy stands strong in support of workers' rights and committed to the principles so important to Bread and Roses Community Fund.
The role I've played in economic and social justice advancement in Philadelphia is someone who brings together labor and community and other progressive organizations.
In the world of organized labor, women have had to fight very hard to gain positions of power. And in Philadelphia, Kathy Black has led that battle.
I like to think of CLUE as the feminist conscience of the labor movement.
For these reasons and more, Bread and Roses is awarding Kathy Black the Paul Robeson Lifetime Achievement Award for her outstanding contributions to social change.
What I want my legacy to be is organizations that are still alive and healthy and going to continue the fight, and new, strong leaders to carry on that work.
In 1912, 25,000 workers put their livelihoods and their lives on the line to fight for a better life. Today, 100 years later, we're lucky to have so many real-life heroes still fighting for working people.
We go marching, marching, we bring the greater days. The rising of the women means the rising of the race. No more the drudge and idler tend that toil where one reposes, but a sharing of life's glories, bread and roses, bread and roses.